it went. So now Matt is going to be moving to his deck B. And his deck B is Sylvan Mentor, which is what Rich just used to win the P9 challenge yesterday.
That looks like slightly different. There might not be an Arreo here. Oh, yeah, I guess he made some interesting main deck considerations for his opponent.
Yes.
So a little bit different than what Rich was playing.
Yeah, he didn't go 75 for 75. He adjusted it to face a dredge player. And then Sullivan's deck B is called Dan Miller is a Mad Genius. Dan Miller is a local player from the PA group. He's known for playing Dak Faden and Rogue decks. And Sullivan has decided to take him up on that. And this seems to be a blue-red shops build with Bazaar of Baghdad, Goblin Welder, and a whole bunch of other interesting cards. And I don't think Matt is going to be ready for this at all.
So it looks like that was a pretty awkward recall there for Sullivan. Yeah.
Yes.
Floated blue, and now this Mox Opal is not going to do what he wants.
Yeah, if I'm him, he has 8 cards, I would concede. No, I'm not even kidding. Like, there's nothing his hand's going to do forever.
And I think he's down to 7 now.
Well, so I wouldn't have played the Opal.
Oh,
right?
okay,
Like,
I see.
Playing Opal says so much. This is real awkward, real fast.
It's a little bit. If you knew what Matt was on somehow, I could see conceding, but not even knowing what.
Oh, that's a good
Matt
point.
is on.
Yeah. I just. Like, this game's over.
Yep.
So if I'm Sullivan, I discard Dak Faden or I concede.
Yeah. So let's see. So 5-color shops doesn't play Mox Opal, right?
None of the builds that I had did, but he discards Trike, and that lets everything out of the bag, I think, to Matt. Right? Like, there's no deck that would play. He might think he's on a weird version of 5C with Mox Opal in it. Oh, that's backbreaking.
So is Matt familiar with the deck that Sullivan is playing? If he knew the list?
No.
Okay.
No, this is a complete brew.
Okay.
But Matt has a Jace right here if he wants it. Like, he could library up. So the reason why I would like to see Jace here is because you can fate steal your opponent out of the game. Yeah, Matt's gonna do it. You can fate steal your opponent out. He's clearly landlocked, so you just give him everything that's not land.
Yep.
And so basically, right now, Brophy needs runner land, and he can't get Black Lotus because he already used it, and he's not gonna have Opal on. So I don't know what he could possibly have. Yeah, and Matt correctly susses out the line of Fate Steal You with forced backup.
Matt a bit better at finding the lines with this blue Library of Alexandria Jason Land Sculpture deck.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's almost like it's what he's used to playing.
Yeah, I guess technically Sullivan, I think, revealed the card. I don't think that this matters a whole lot, but Sullivan's asking in the chat.
Yeah, so it's hard to do this. You have to reveal the top card. There's a command to do it, but I don't think either of them knows it.
Are you able to tell that to them in chat? I don't know.
I don't remember it myself right now. I am able to tell them once I get it. I'm just gonna. Oh, I can't do a fun game. Erg.
Matt tells Sullivan to keep that card on top, and also WTF are you playing, with lots of exclamation points and question marks. So
I agree with all of those things. So the Triskelion makes him think, okay, this is probably 5C. Stoneforge Mystic blows.
Yeah.
And like if I'm Sullivan, I'm just conceding. Like,
right.
I don't understand.
I think it was maybe reasonable to stay in this game with the Trike, but the Stoneforge, I mean.
So Mox Pearl's probably gonna get bottomed. Like, the only thing that's better than, yeah, it's gonna get bottomed. And then Matt should just go land pass. Like, I wouldn't even play any of the filters. Yeah. All right, there's a land. He's going to be able to get Goblin Welder into play. That's pretty big. The Welder turns on Opal, which will get back Trike, or importantly, it can get Black Lotus.
Let's see, so Goblin, this has been apparently errated to be an Artificer.
It is an Artificer, correct.
Seems a bit generous to call someone who turns metal guys into ashtrays an artificer, but I guess that's what Wizards has decided.
They have. So now Jace is in play, and the board has dynamically changed. I wonder what Matt chooses to do. He knows that if he lets Welder stay, Triskelion is likely to make a return.
Yep.
And that's not usually something you want to see. He has plenty of loyalty saved up on Jace. Okay, so here comes Ponder.
Yep.
He's tapping down Tundra, which is going to make one of his outs here is Plow. So he'd have to fetch for Plow. He has 2 other fetches in hand, so it's not a big deal if he hits it. But it is a minor.
Even if, I mean, as a last resort, you can bounce the Welder for a turn and then Plow afterwards.
It's true. You can. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Sylvan Mentor, and certainly the fetching and tapping is a lot more delicate than with some sort of 3-color Mentor deck.
Yeah, so he does play it safe with the bounce. I imagine we're going to see another land out of him. Okay, now we're on 8 in hand. What are we doing? Discarding. He has to discard still. Drop went to the bin. The only main deck cards that I care about that are the Sylvan itself
Sylvan, yeah.
and the Grudge, yeah. Which the Grudge could be relevant. Okay. Whole lot of air. Draw off library. These missteps would be so good against Goblin Welder if it wasn't for that cavern.
Okay. So let's see, the Artificers in the deck, is it just the Welder and the Master Transmuter?
I believe it is just those 2, but it also makes the Master Transmuter castable off Workshop now, because Cavern can make the blue.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And Shop can make Master, and it is an artifact. So Matt is making mana. I am confused at double fetch. I don't see what he's trying to cast.
I think double fetch would indicate gush, but I don't really think it makes sense to gush here. So
yeah, like so. Yeah, I don't. Like,
is he something? Is he snapcasting? Oh, he's playing.
What does he have? He's not that's worth snapping yet. Like he's not going to snap Ponder.
I guess probably the reason he double fetched is so his preordain can keep stuff on the bottom. But yeah, when you have a Jason play, I don't.
Yeah, I mean he's not locked into a line on any of this. The Probe's big game. Probe's big game. Lets him find out all the information.
Never have I wanted to see my opponent's hand quite as much as in this game being Matt here.
Yeah, I mean, the most important card in that hand is the Uba Mask. Like, everything else, he probably has pieced together. Like, you see Welder, you see Triskelion.
Yeah.
The Stoneforge blows his mind, because it blows my mind. I mean, he's only playing because it's also an Artificer, and so he can play it off Cavern. But...
So like, what does he have? Is it just Batterskull? What?
I think it was Batterskull. Let me pull up the list.
All right.
I have some
pull up this list and scroll slowly down through the
artifacts. Yeah. So main deck.
One Batterskull, right?
Main deck is 1 Batterskull. Out of the board, there's nothing else. That seems really loose to me.
Yeah, I feel like I'd at least put a Jite or some sort of sword in the board.
Or a second Batterskull. Like if you think Batterskull's that good, like I don't agree with the. Or like cut the Spirit or the Forge Master. Like I don't, or the Stoneforge rather. Okay. Matt's on a boat.
Here. Okay.
Being on a boat seems good. And what did we lose? We lost Fetch Land, and we lost a Preordain. Okay, that's fine. Or no, a misstep. We just got a misstep. We cast the Preordain.
Seems like this misstep is.
Ooh,
these
Academy.
Missteps aren't that great against Cavern.
Academy's a big rip.
Yep. So let's see. What can Sullivan actually do this turn?
No, I mean he could just play Welder and pass, right? Like that's,
yeah, looks like that's about it.
Yeah, he needs to get more cards still. There's that Containment Priest haunting Matt, as it is not a dredge matchup. Although Containment Priest does actually matter with Goblin Welder. It changes.
Yep, and Triskelion, right?
Yes, it will stop that interaction.
He's able to ambush him with it too.
Yes, and I believe Welder tries to complete as much as it can because the targets are still legal. So I believe Sullivan still loses the opal, despite the fact that the Triskelion cannot come into play.
Yeah, I agree that that's how that works. Let's look up the DCI wording on Welder. If both targets are still legal as this ability resolves. So it looks like it'll resolve and then the containment priest will just exile. And then, yeah, as you said, opal goes to the graveyard.
Yeah.
Which Academy will probably not be a fan of.
Right. I've been studying my rulings. I'm trying to be a judge now because I don't want to play anymore or play as much. So I can judge the vintage events more. There goes Misstep to the bin, another chase to the bin, and we're sitting behind Containment Priest. So Sullivan's got to be interested as to why Welder survived after it didn't the previous.
Yes, so it looks like Sullivan passed there. He didn't. Oh, never mind. Welder had so many seconds. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. It would be so much better if you could just use it right away.
I'm just used to being spoiled by Moto where there's this awful swirling graphic if something does not have so many seconds.
I mean, there are trade-offs in both. Another Goblin Welder. So it is also possible that he welds in the Black Lotus to get mana. I'm not saying that's what he's gonna do, but based on his hand, like getting down Master Transmuters is actually a big game.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like welding in a trike is even necessarily going to win you the game here. So I agree that going for the Black Lotus is a reasonable line.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that Dak Faden really blows out a lot of the lines. Like the only thing Sullivan can do that kind of mitigates this is he can get Black Lotus and then use Academy for blue. Yeah, Matt, what's Matt doing? I'm really confused.
Oh, stealing a Mox Opal to hope that to make him weld and then he's gonna Containment Priest. What? Let's see what. Turn it into a trike, Sullivan says. So it looks like Matt gets the blowout here.
All right, and I'll tell them that how it works.
Although Sullivan's a judge, so if he disagrees with us, I'm not sure what we're gonna do about that. All right, okay. looks like he conceded, so we were correct on that ruling. Let's see. So what do we get from? All right, yeah. So what do we get from sideboards here, other than apparently no equipment in the board from Sullivan? Although I don't think it's the matchup, you'd bring the equipment in anyway.
So. Yeah, I don't think so. So if I'm Sullivan, I'm probably bringing in Jester's Cap because he's light on win conditions. I'm bringing in Pyroblasts because they're good in this matchup. Then I'm bringing in Chalice. I could see Wormcoil Engine, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it seems like when your opponent's on Dak Faden, it's not where you're bringing that in.
Yeah, but it's also a way to deal with Mentor and getting ahead of it. And he has to imagine with all the cards that Matt had that he also has Mentor. So it's a possibility. I mean, he has Sphinx, which is a much better card for that. I'm surprised he's only playing one Battle Ball. I think the card's just like if you're gonna play 4 Master Transmuter, Mere Battlesphere is probably a lot better than the second Triskelion.
Right.
3 Chromatic Lantern's interesting. I think that's probably too high. And I think he's too light on lands, right? 4, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he's like a blue deck's mana base with shop deck casting costs.
And with 2 Bazaars.
Yeah, I didn't count them. I only counted the
mana of course.
But that's probably why he's playing the lanterns. But the problem is lantern costs 3, so like it's predicated on the notion that I have 3 mana, so I can't count it as a mana source.
All right, looks like Sullivan has gone up to 61. So
interesting. Matt stayed 60. They're sideboarding so fast. We're not getting into Matt's decks. Matt's on Sylvan Mentor. He's going to bring in Plow, Grudge, probably Rest in Peace, and maybe Nature's Claim.
So does Matt have a Grudge in the main deck, or is it just the 2 that he's bringing?
Yeah, he probably moved him to the board because of.
So he actually, it looks like Matt has 1 in the main deck still and 2 in the sideboard. So this matchup is going to be rough for Sullivan.
It's possible. It's going to depend on what goes on. Like as you can see, Matt has none right now, so he has to get to them still. But Sully has. Did I count wrong? He can't cast anything.
Yeah,
that costs 4, dude.
Yeah, that blue symbol is not Phyrexian.
Yeah, and so I think he thought he had a turn 1 play. Now he doesn't, and he realizes that he made a bad life decision.
Yeah.
And Matt's hand is pretty good. Like from Matt, I'm seeing turn 1 time walk into hope I draw other land for Jace and Gush.
So Sullivan
There it
totally
is.
doesn't. So does Sullivan keep this hand if he
No.
knows that he can't?
I wouldn't. I mean, frankly, I wouldn't play this deck. Like I think there's a lot of things going on that's cool, but I think it's very inconsistent. Like blue shops has been tried forever. Adding red is fun, but I think it just has the same problem where like if you draw the shops cards and the shop mana and the blue cards or the blue mana and the shops cards, you just lose. And there's not enough to smooth. Like Lantern helps smooth it out, but I don't think it's enough. He has to get the land from his deck. Yeah, he's doing that. Let's see what he gets. He gets the Volk.
Seems reasonable. He has an Emerald out already.
Yeah. So now his opponent knows, or he knows his opponent has Triskelion in his deck.
Yep.
The odds of him being able to cast Triskelion now are pretty low, but he may want to tick up as a. Nope, he's just going right for the Brainstorm. Oh, there's Force Will. Rewarded. Great justice. I would put Claim, then Rainforest on top. Because we're going to probably Brainstorm again next turn. And that's exactly what Matt does in that order. Man, it's like we're good blue players.
So even with Sullivan picking some interesting decks, I do think Matt got the sort of better luck in which deck matched up against which, because he was playing his prison deck against the Battle of Wits deck, trying to resolve 5 mana non-creature. And then he's playing a deck with 1 grudge in the main, 2 grudge in the sideboard against this artifact deck.
He also has claims in the sideboard, and he has the priest to stop the welder shenanigans.
Yep.
Like he's very well suited in this matchup, and that's kind of why I'm surprised that Sullivan chose this, because it's very. I think Sullivan got too carried away with trying to level people, and it's coming back to haunt him. He's playing a lot of fringe decks, and he's like they're kind of getting like this one in particular, right? Like he's playing a deck that is beat up by Sylvan Mentor, which you have to pick Matt to have at least one of his decks be a Monastery Mentor Gush deck. And this deck is going to lose to that, right? Or it's going to have a really hard time beating it.
Mm-hmm. Especially Sylvan Mentor. I think this would be a little bit closer, something like the Jeskai deck that Matt played yesterday in the Power 9. But
yeah, something without the Ancient Grudges.
Right. Yeah, the Ancient Grudges are backbreaking here.
Yeah. Especially coupled with everything else, though. Okay, so there's Fate Sealing. He let him keep Bazaar.
He let him keep Bazaar with the mascot?
He let him keep Bazaar. He thought about it. I mean, to be fair, he does have a hand, right? Sullivan does have a hand. So, like, it's not like it's completely one-sided yet. He just put it right. He just dragged it from his library to play.
Still, though, if I were Sullivan here, I mean, you are right. He has to discard some cards, but
I'm still smashing it.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way I'm not. I also disagree with that line. Lodestone Golem is not amazing. I'd much rather put it in for free with a Transmute. Oh wait, does that work poorly? Let me read this card. Yeah, it does. Transmuter and Bazaar works really poorly with Uba Mask. Right? You have to. You can sequence your spells, but still.
Yeah, that's good from your hand.
Yeah. So now this is gonna get plowed, and yeah, I don't like this. If I was Sullivan, I would have played Transmuter there.
Yep.
But we'll see how it goes. Like he still has to fight through a Jace. Why did he put? Oh, he didn't drag it all the way or something. I'm confused. Oh, Uba Mask. Yep. Okay, yes, Uba Mask.
So Matt is unable to draw cards, but has that claim up there from the Jace to take care of the Uba Mask. Okay. So presumably Matt was just planning ahead with the Nature's Claim there.
Yes. Well, I mean, he knew the claim was there because he brainstormed it back with Jace. And then what he did was he used the casting zone as exile, but he knew he was going to just cast it right away anyway, so he tapped the Emerald afterwards.
I'm not used to this having to think about what both players are doing things, so I completely forgot that the Nature's Claim was next card there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I thought he was like showing it on accident, and then I realized he was just revealing it to cast it, and he knew it was there because of the previous Jace Brainstorm. The Dak Faden here is probably going to be a bad time for Sullivan, because I imagine he's going to just take the Mox Ruby away, right? It's Ruby and Jet. Ruby and Emerald. We already have Emerald, and we have Emerald and Ruby. I would probably grab Ruby. We care more about the red. Yeah, good man. Like I said, it's like Matt's a good blue player or something. I would Bazaar in Sullivan's position, because neither of the cards in our hand are castable or very good right now.
You have Bazaar step here?
I would Bazaar in step, yeah. I just don't see a reason not to. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get ancient cards on our Mox Emerald. That's a bad time. That's a bad time for us. So if that was the line Matt was gonna take, I actually think he should have did it backwards, because he wants to make sure he has green to flash it back. And there is a possibility that Sullivan lands a Dak Faden and takes our Emerald, but that's so low. Okay, so we can keep.
You're just able to force a Villainy, Dak Faden here, so
that's true too. Yeah, I just don't like wasting Force of Will. When we could play around it better, I'd rather just do that. Like, he could force Dak Faden, but I'd rather force the thread that kills us, not the card that does that smoke. I guess Dak Faden could be really bad. I don't know. I mean, if he can get Dak Faden and something online, like Dak Faden and Uba Mask, that'd be pretty brutal. But like, I think Uba Mask is a much scarier card for our deck, right? Like, if those are the two cards that he draws, wouldn't we rather force Uba Mask and deal with Dak Faden? Like, we have Jason, we have our own Dak and our own Jason play.
Sure. Let's see. So I guess it's gonna. What does he DT for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why he's playing Lotus for free. Because like why is he cracking? I don't.
Well, if you're gonna go all in, you might.
He may be going to get Dak Faden because he needs different colors.
Separate colors. Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of. And so by doing it this way, though, he telegraphs to Matt that he's not doing anything else. So Matt's just going to flash and force the will, and that's going to be the game. That's the only thing I can see here is Dak Faden. Like, if I was Sullivan, I would have considered getting like Workshop. Like, not keeping Black Lotus, keeping Triskelion, and getting Workshop.
Right. Yeah, I think based on the way Sullivan played, the only thing, as you said, that makes sense here is Dak, because you need the two Confluence colors.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at this list if there's anything else.
No, it's an Ancestral, which is, instead of getting Force, is going to get Misstepped, and that's going to be all she wrote. I can't imagine he plays through this. Yeah,
right.
This. So I think Sullivan got a little too cute playing Battlewits and this, and now they're on to deck 3.